Alright, so I found out January 9th, 2012. I was going into like, it was supposed to be my senior year of college, but it really wasn't because like it's never really your senior year. Like it's always an extra year. So yeah, I found out January 9th during winter break. Um, I I found out because I had swollen lymph nodes on the back of my neck that I thought were I didn't know what it was, but it was like swollen like little lymph nodes on the back of my neck that was bothering me for like weeks. So I talked to my father and he was like, "Oh, I'll get you a specialist, whatever." But that was taking too long, so I just went to the emergency room. I was like, "Look, the shit on my neck annoying me. Help me out." And they did tests, and the lady came back and she had my blood results. She was like, "Oh, your white blood cells seem to be kind of low, but maybe because there might just be like a virus or something that's causing it." And like whenever I hear like anything about white blood cells, like the the health class like in me always makes me think like I know white blood cells has something to do with HIV. You know, like that's all we taught in like health class. So I asked her, just expecting her to be like, "Son, you're thinking too much. Like I think you need to calm down." So I said like, "What level of like white blood cells like constitutes HIV?" And I really just expected her to be like, "Yo, son, I kind of think you're overthinking here, buddy." But nah, she didn't. She stopped. She was just like, "Well, if you feel like you're at risk, I really think you should go get tested." And I was like, "So is this something you thought might be a cause of this?" And she was like, "Yeah, but I didn't want to say it because we don't have the test, the things to do the test here. So I didn't want to worry you, but it is something that crossed my mind." And that shit just hit me. I was just like, "What? A lady And then she was just like, and then she tried to like blow it off. She was like, "Oh, but like I work with this all the time in like Brooklyn and stuff. So you know, don't listen to me. I just always deal with this. Maybe I'm just doing too much." She tried to be like real nice about it, but when she said Brooklyn, it hit me too because the person I was seeing was in Brooklyn. So I'm just like, that's too close. So then I remember right after that, I just went into the bathroom and I just hit the floor. And I wasn't even crying or anything. I was just like so heavy. And I was just on the floor, just like breathing. And I was just like, what the fuck? And then it was crazy because my brother took me to the emergency room, but it was late. It was around like 10 o'clock. He had to go to work. So he had to leave me there. And I just told him, "Well, just go. I'll just find a way home." But I was in Hackensack and I live in Passaic. And it's like 3 towns away. And the bus stopped running at like 10:30 and it was 11 when I left. So I had to walk it took me like an hour and a half walk home at night. It was like 12 o'clock at night. Hour and a half walk home after hearing this news. And I was just like, get the fuck out of here. It was like the longest walk of my life. And I was just thinking about every possible like thing that could happen. I thought about my family. And mind you, I didn't know for sure in that moment, but for something in me told me I kind of knew. Because like I've been avoiding even the thought of like tests or anything up until that point. So like I had to do a whole fucking walk home, and then when I finally got home, I went to sleep and woke up, and my mother called me because I went to the emergency room, and then I told her about I was hesitant to tell what the nurse said, but I just went for it. I was like, "The nurse said this and that," and she was just like, "You know what? I'm just gonna get tested, and not gonna worry about it. Like I'm not claiming this. God doesn't have this for you. Like God does not have this for you. We just gonna have it done." She should have said that to you. She wasn't sure. She's just scaring you. All this stuff. So I'm like, all right. And then so I go with her the next day to get tested. And then like I'm sitting in the little clinic, and my mother can't go in the room. She's on the outside, and I'm with this lady, and like we're just talking, and she take my blood. It's like a 5 minute wait. So I'm just waiting, talking to her, and then like the thing buzzes, and she's like, "Okay, are you ready?" I was like, "Just wait a minute," I was like, let's just talk a little bit, because like for something in me was just telling me like I don't want to know what's going on.
Yeah.
So I was like, let's just talk, and she's like, "Okay," and she's like, we talked a little more, and she's like, "Okay, you ready?" I was like, "Yeah, fuck it, I'm good. Just do it." And then she looked at it, and she was like, "You tested premature. Like it was like it's not the exact test, but it's like the initial test that I tested positive for. So she said that, and like I just made a sound, and I remember I ran to the door and I just made a sound. It wasn't even a scream. It was just like a like it was just something, like some fucking sound came out of me, and I ran to the door. And my mother was like listening by the door, so she just opened the door and she was just like, she came and like just screaming at the lady. She was just like, why, something like, I forgot what the fuck she was barking on the lady about, but like something she was barking at her about, and I'm just in like the corner. This whole story. I'm in the corner like just crying, saying I'm about to die, all this stuff, and then it hit me. My mother's an alcoholic, and she's been clean up for that moment. She was clean for like a year, but what's up? For that moment, she was clean for like a year, but I was just thinking like, yo, this is the shit that's gonna bring her right back. So like I had to like get myself together like as quick as I could, because I knew like this is gonna trigger her. She's gonna be out again doing her thing. So I'm like, oh fuck. So that came to my mind, and like quickly I just stopped crying. I'm just like, all right, I'm back. I'm good. I have to be good, because my mother, she gonna start wilding. So like I was trying to like calm myself, and then I had to go and get like, she had to do something else after you get tested positive. She has to go and take more so they can send it off, so they get the actual results. So I was sitting in a chair and I was just talking to, like whispering to the lady. I was like, my mother's alcoholic. Like, you have to like, I don't know what I wanted her to do, but I was like, you have to like do something, because right now she's in a space. I know she's gonna go and drink. Like, you have to go do something. And she was just like talking to him. She was talking loud. She was like, yeah, but your mother's not gonna do nothing. Like, she kept saying it loud. Your mother's not gonna do nothing because she's here for you, right, Mom? You're not gonna do nothing, right? Because she's here for you. And Mom was like, no, I'm not. Like, no, I'm not. And like the whole time, I just saw it on her face, like she was about to run out. I just felt it. And then like after that, I had to give the name of the all my partners, and it was only one person I've ever. So I was like, give the name, and then my mother heard it. She was just like, and I had to get the number. My mother heard it, and she was just like, what's the number? And she kept like badgering the nurse to give her the number to her, like, what's his number? What's his number? Like going off, and I was just like, I can't deal with all this. It was just so much. That day was crazy. So then like all that shit happened, and then that night I had to go and tell my father like everything, like everything. It was like he didn't know anything. Like he didn't know sexuality, disease, nothing. So I had to tell him both at the exact same time, and that was the first time I ever saw my father cry. Like he just, in his face, he didn't even look like himself. Like his face just looked like, I'm not, like he didn't even look like himself. I was just like, that moment I was like, I done fucked up. Like I dead ass fucked up. Like everything. Yeah. But it was winter break, and I think 2 weeks later I had to go back to school. It was funny because I went back to school. Mind you, that semester I failed every class except for one, which was a fiction writing class. And the only reason I didn't fail that class because I had a lot of the same classmates in it, and I felt some type of like responsibility to them to get it, like to do my work. But every other class, I was like, fuck it, like I failed everything. But in the fiction writing class, when I first came back, after all this crazy shit, I come back into the class, and one of my old classmates asked me like, oh, so how was your winter break?
Oh my god.
And I said, it was really good until it was really, really, really bad.
Yeah.
And that's what I said. And she was like, yeah, sometimes it'd be like that. I was like, Craig, you have no fucking idea. And that's like, I guess the story of me finding out. And then that same day, that I got diagnosed, I had to tell my partner, and the shit about this nigga, it was just like, he didn't react normal. Like, when somebody tell you that, the first thing you think is like, oh, well, who are you cheating with? You know, like, that's the first thing you'll think to react.
Mm-hmm.
All he said was like, oh, I'm here for you. Which made me think like, the fuck you mean you're here for me? You're not like scared or like, oh my God, like you're not like why are you? And that made me really question a lot. Like, did you know this or which now I feel like he didn't for a lot of different reasons, but I feel like he just knew that he was doing dirt, so he knew it was probably a possibility, but I don't think he knew for real. Because if he did, he'd be dead. That's real shit. Yeah, that's my story of